Hey everyone, this is day one of the Great Pacific Adventure. We cast off our lines for the last time from our slip at Cabrillo Way Marina in San Pedro, California on Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Our mission for today is to sail to Catalina Harbor on the backside of Catalina Island. This is a trip that we've done dozens of times, but this time it feels different, very different. This is the last time we will see Catalina Island for at least a year, maybe a few years. Our mission is to explore the Pacific coast of Mexico this winter, then to sail to the South Pacific in spring. Eventually, we will work our way back home to Southern California. Home. They say home is where your heart is. My heart is with my wife, Debbie, my family, and my dog. So that's home. But the sea is calling my soul. This is an adventure I've dreamt about for decades. It's finally happening, and we are thrilled to take you with us. Please join us as we share the adventure, and be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support. Welcome aboard.
Holy crap. So it's, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Wednesday. It's the kickoff of the Great Pacific Adventure. So I just left the dock for the final time here at San Pedro, turned in my key cards, and took the lines with me. Chris and Carmen from SV Aeronautical stopped by to give me a little bit of a send-off. And our first stop is going to be for fuel. And then we're going to make one last trip to the island before we head south to Ensenada. So today's destination is Cat Harbor. We'll anchor there. It's funny, I feel like a bit of a vagabond. I do not have a slip reservation in Ensenada yet. I have a haul out date later in November, and I've sent a couple emails now, and I don't still don't have a date locked in, so I think it's better just give a call down there. But I think the Baja Haha fleet kicks off heading south on November 4th, Monday. So I'm thinking if I get to Ensenada by, Monday, Tuesday time frame, I will have missed most of the fleet, may cross paths with them just as they're kicking off. And then we'll be about a month behind them, 3 weeks at least behind them when we go south, which is fine with me. All right, 47.3 gallons of diesel, and we're ready to get the show on the road here. Right behind Harbor Breeze Cruises, which was also filling up right here, Jan Kovich. It's like the only public fuel dock around here in San Pedro. Took a hard turn to starboard to get out of the channel. So we've got a little bit of inbound traffic here. Looks like got a ship or a barge under tow with a couple of tugs. Adios, San Pedro, adios. It's been a good 5 years or so since we've been up here. So this will be my last time passing through Angel's Gate for some time. Very light winds and a little bit of swell. We'll be in the shipping lanes pretty soon. Not even gonna bother rigging the main unless I see a little bit more of a breeze. I think we're gonna be motoring. So I've got the alternator charging up the batteries along with solar at the same time. I'm still burning a little bit of power with Starlink, and I'm making water. So we'll probably make water at least till the west end. Just exited the shipping lanes, the southbound lane. So we're clear of the shipping lanes. No ships of concern in the shipping lanes themselves. We do have the Lucy Franco doing a long tow. It looks like they were coming from near the west end of Catalina. So we went probably about 20 degrees to starboard just to give these guys plenty of room. We were kind of headed nose to nose about an hour ago. So try to give them some distance. We'll clear with a little less than a mile CPA, maybe about 3/4 of a mile CPA. Little mola floating right up at the top. That's the second or third one I've seen today. About 10 till 3 p.m. We're just 1 nautical mile from the west end of the island, and I'm seeing like 5.5 knots of wind now, just right on the nose. So sails still wouldn't do us any good at the moment, and it's a little choppy here. We're getting some swells and some waves coming in. No big deal. I would say generally 3 feet with the occasional 4-footer. $4 p.m. and we're just making the turn here at Catalina Harbor. All right, we're all snubbed in. We're sitting in about 48 feet of water. Not too bad. Kind of not too far from the moorings behind us. So we've got a boat anchored to starboard, and another one. These guys may have been in that same spot when we were here last weekend. Also the same with this other catch over here. That guy's just been shredding his mizzen as an anchor riding sail. Might have a little bit of wind coming in Saturday. I don't think we're going to have much over the next couple of days. I'll have to look and see if we want to get over on this side of the anchorage Saturday night, if it's going to be blowing. All right, cooking with Keeldragger. We're going to make steak fajitas. So we've got some peppers and onions on the fire, and then we've got some dry rub seasoning on the flank steak, and I'm gonna get the grill started and start cooking. We're getting there. The fajita meat's been cooked and sliced. There's the peppers and onions. Now we're gonna see if we can burn our fingers. Heat up our tortilla. Burn a little bit of arm here. Here's our finished product. Tortilla, peppers, onions, a little bit of cheese, avocado, and flank steak with some La Costeña Mexican salsa. Sun is starting to come up. The days have been getting shorter. It's about 6:45 It's beautiful here. See, I've got just a little bit of a gentle rolling motion. I slept well. My watch told me I slept for that I hit my sleep goal, and I hit 8 hours, which is like the first time I've seen that in maybe a year. We've got another installment of Cooking with Keeldragger for breakfast. So we're just gonna make sausage and eggs, nothing special about that, but the way we're gonna make it, at least the way that we're gonna cook it's gonna be a little bit different. So I purchased this Duck's Top induction cooktop. Now, this is an induction pan. You can use pretty much any pan, but this is like specially made, and I think they just make the bottom flat so it doesn't vibrate, because I've tested with regular pans. They work, but they kind of vibrate and they move because they're not as flat on the bottom. So the reason I purchased this Duck's Top, I still have the propane stove, and I intend to continue to use propane. But there's a couple of factors of why I chose to go with induction as kind of a backup. So one, you know, and some of the places I go to, I expect it's going to be difficult to find propane. So I wanted a backup in case I run out of propane and still have a way to cook. The second reason is in the tropics, it gets really hot and humid, and the induction cooktop is going to pump a lot less heat into the cabin. And I think that's going to be a big deal. I didn't want to rely solely on electronics. One, just you're in a marine environment, you know, and you never know if your if you can have electrical issues or not. So I wanted to have some redundancy and kind of an alternative way to cook. The other thing is just about conservation of batteries, because, you know, if I'm running the Starlink and everything else, like, I'm not going to have enough. I'll have to be really judicious in how I am using my electronics and things like that. So if I had a bigger solar bank and everything like that, then I'd be fine. But I don't. So I feel like this is actually a good cheap option. Like, this Dux top was maybe $120. Super cheap. You know, the pots and pans, I don't know, I spent another $100 on some induction cookware. And I currently don't have an outlet plugged to the galley yet. That's off the inverter. So you see this yellow extension cord goes back to this Bouge RV 2000 watt inverter. So it's not ideal. Actually, I could plug this into the outlets as well. My intent, and maybe I'll get around to it when I'm in Ensenada, will be to run an inverter outlet over to the galley, so I can plug this in without the use of extension cord. So not ideal, but, you know, I see this as primarily kind of a backup way for cooking. All right, power on. And we'll start with power of 5. Wait till we burn off our fingerprints. Already starting to get warm. We're not going to touch the damn thing. The thing about these induction cooktops is they do get fat. They get hot really quickly, which is super nice. So one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the pan is sliding a little bit. Oh, in 30 seconds these things started frying, but you see that pan just shifting a little bit as we're rolling. I wish there was a better way to kind of secure the pan or gimbal this a little bit. So I have Starlink and some other stuff going on right now. You can see I'm pulling 75, 76 amps right now out of my battery. So that's quite a bit of juice. I could try it without the Starlink and see what we're pulling. So I turned off the inverter because I've got Starlink on the inverter to see how the how much pull I would have, and I also turned off my stove when I turned off the inverter. So I guess that's not the way to do that test. Starlink is off. We're pulling 68, 69 or so amp hours. And I've got a little mobile app with this Bouge RV inverter, 34%. So we're using 682, 675 watts of power. It's kind of nice having this little app for the inverter also. All right, these eggs were genetically modified to be the hardest to crack. Surprised I didn't get a bunch of shell in there. Okay, a little bit of sauce on there. Nothing fancy, but looks edible. Just hiked over to the isthmus. It's about a half mile between Cat Harbor and the isthmus here at Two Harbors. This is the east end of the isthmus. Almost empty. It looks like they're all work boats except for that power boat and the catamaran out there. And then on the west side, well, you've got like 5 boats. Some work boats over here. Pretty empty. The dinghy dock only has a kayak and a couple of the sheriff's dinghy and another hard bottom skiff. So there's nobody here on Halloween. So if you're wondering when the best time to come to the island is, it's probably right now, because it's still warm enough. Just a avoid the Santa Anas that'll be starting up here before long, and these winter storms. Pretty empty here at the Isthmus. Look at this gorgeous day. Right around the corner from the Isthmus, you get a good view of that's Fisherman's Cove, not to be confused with Little Fisherman's Cove, which is over by the campground, Bird Rock. And if you see that the green can with that day marker there, there's a harbor reef. There's a reef there. We've snorkeled that in the past. Ship Rock is that big white rock. And then this is 4th of July Cove. This is I think the only cove I haven't picked up a mooring in here. On the other side of 4th of July Harbor, the other thing I want to point out is look how clear that water is. This would be a great time to snorkel or dive. Welcome to Santa Catalina Island. You are entering the protected lands of the Catalina Island Conservancy. Treat the land with care and respect. Unless you're a bird, then just crap all over the sign. All right, we are at Cherry Cove. I don't think we'll run into any bison. This is probably my favorite spot to pick up mooring here at Cherry Cove. It's fairly chill if you get in here. It's fairly well protected, and there's good snorkeling just right along shore here. The visibility looks excellent right now. Coming up on 4 miles exactly from Cat Harbor to Cherry Cove and back. Friday, November 1st, about 7:30 a.m. So one of the things that I need to do occasionally, just from a maintenance standpoint, is fire up the S-Bar forced air diesel heater. I don't know, clear out the cobwebs or whatever. Should do it every month or so, whether I need to or not. I haven't been running it much. Here's the switch, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 vents. There's one right under the nav here, one in the aft cabin, one right by the in front of the head, and then another one for the V-berth. And it makes it quite toasty in here. It doesn't take a ton of electricity, and it kind of sips diesel, so it's a super nice addition to the boat. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this for the next half hour or so, let it take the edge off until it starts warming up outside. But it's nice and cozy in here right now. Not too bad. Trying to get my master's merchant mariner credentials done before I head south. It's kind of running out of time. I've already done the 6-pack. Now, I'm not a big fan of the quote-unquote captain's licenses. First of all, they're not captain's licenses. They're merchant mariner credentials. The Coast Guard does not issue captain's license. So you can be the captain of your own vessel, or if you are in the Coast Guard or the Navy, you could be a captain, but you don't get a captain's license. So it's kind of a poor label. And, you know, I'm doing it, you know, more just because I love learning, and it's a good forcing function for me to, you know, continue to learn, and I'm always trying to learn. But I'm also a little skeptical, like as soon as someone introduces me with the label captain, if they don't mean it as like the captain of their own boat, like as they have a quote-unquote captain's license, I always take that with a grain of salt, because these exams have zero practical applied test to them. It's book knowledge. They're multiple choice. They cover a variety of topics. So I certainly would endorse studying for them. And for those that want to do it, it kind of opens the door to pick up certain jobs in the maritime industry. So I think it's a good thing. I wish there were practical on the water exams or education in addition to that was equally credentialed, which, you know, I guess I don't see here as much in the U.S.
Mary side, the vessel is completely engulfed. is a 15-foot, look like white center console, completely up in flames at the current moment.
Annie from sailing vessel Stoked Sailing Soleil just called me and told me that.
Coast Guard Sector Light, Roger, good copy. Thank you for the update.
Said a boat exploded in front of the Queen Mary.
It seems like they're closer on scene. They might have some people up on the front of the jet ski at the current moment as well.
Well, good morning. It's Saturday. This is what a 7:15 a.m. looks like. So we're starting to get a little bit of action here coming into the harbor here. Not too bad. It's a fairly peaceful night, but got a small craft advisory. We may see winds up to 25 knots coming in. So the small craft advisory starts later this afternoon, and tomorrow may be a little bit windy as well. So I think most of it's going to be west, kind of northwest. And I was debating on whether I should get on this side in front of me on the west side, if I should anchor over there and re-anchor. I think I've got enough fetch behind me, and I'm in 50 feet. I'm fairly comfortable with my holding. The only thing I worry about is as I've been here for a couple days, I've been circling around the hook and whether the anchor is come out and set and reset. So I think I'm going to take this opportunity today to take trash to the island and take a hot shower at the island, because I don't have any hot water right now on board. So I run the engine again, and then later today. Holy crap! I don't know if you can see that, but looks like one of those night herons or whatever they're called just completely destroyed the dinghy with crap. Red sky in the morning. Sailors take warning. Good God, how is this even possible? Holy crap. Pretty calm right now at the dinghy dock. Pretty easy flight in. So we're gonna go ahead and walk up to the dumpsters here and get rid of this bag of trash, and walk a half mile, and we'll see what the situation is with the hot showers. I don't think I've taken showers physically on the island in two harbors. I have in Avalon. It's been several years. Sailing vessel stowaway. This was my neighbor back in San Pedro, right next to me, right slip next to me. Well, here's something you don't see very often in Southern California. Look at this. Raining. So we haven't seen the wind yet, but we are getting some rain, and I'm actually okay, because it's washing off the decks. Man, we got blasted by these night herons or whatever these birds are called, just crapped all over the dinghy and on the deck here as well. So I don't think I'm gonna run the deck light. I don't know if that's gonna make any difference or not, but I spent some time wiping it off, and I'm okay, getting a good rinse here too.